This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on hashtag WeAreMovieClub. It's time for Scary Movie Squad. Ooh. Because it should be in more of a Scary Movie Squad. There we go. There, we nailed it. Salutations, I'm Cameron. I am conversation ready. We're here to talk about Happy Death Day, which I've purchased from Amazon Prime, and we just watched together this last Friday night at 9 p.m., despite what Rabbit says on Rabbit/Camerai. Where you go each Friday and Sunday, join us, watch some movies, come talk to us about it here on our medium. Tweet me at Camerai25 or at WeAreMovieClub on the Twitters. Get the conversation started, yeah. So I will say, without a doubt, right off the bat, I am rushing because Rabbit fucked me again on the time. I had one guy I was hanging out with for pretty much the whole movie, and he was a good guy. So I enjoyed watching it with him, but the event was for 11, so I'm trying to rush to do this before then so that I can start back up again for the people at the actual time instead of just going to bed like I did and canceling it like I did last time, because I feel if I do that too often, that looks bad on me to Rabbit itself, and Rabbit is the one fucking me already, so, we'll just have to see how it happens. Just drink, yeah. Okay, so, when I start coughing here, I can fix it. Man. So, Happy Death Day. I will say right off the bat, too, perfectly happy having purchased this and be able to watch it for all of eternity. Or over and over and over like it's the same day on repeat. Because if you don't know, Happy Death Day is basically a horror suspense version of Groundhog. I had been comparing it to Triangle, having seen both movies. Well, this is not a good comparison. Triangle is a fatalistic time loop. You can't change anything. You're literally running time back to back. Groundhog's Day has a restart button. So that's much more what this is. Every time she dies, the day restarts. So I guess you could say the goal is to survive the day, and then she wins by continuing her life past that point. I made some funny jokes at the beginning of the movie about, like, maybe the solution is this. It turns out that they were not. They were different ways she gets killed later. The first 10 minutes of the movie or whatnot, and you can tell a lot by the first 5-10 minutes of a movie. In theory, the first 5 minutes of any product is supposed to grab you. And if it doesn't grab you, it's a failure. It doesn't matter if it comes around later or not. If it didn't make you feel like you need to stay there, it has not built up enough suspense, in theory, for you to continue. It's not how I watch things. It's not a reaction I have to them. I literally never understood the idea of suspense when I was a kid. Having studied movies and whatnot a little bit now, I get the concept, but it still doesn't build me. It's like, I can just turn it on later. I can just keep reading from that page I left off on. I don't get that a whole lot. There's a couple of things where I get a compulsion to eat, to keep reading like I'm eating candy or something, but it's not like, I just don't get built up. So, like, horror movies are funny for me. They really are. It's like watching someone play a tactical video game, and then not knowing what they're doing. Because horror movies are fueled by stupidity. We got 15 minutes to get the event started up, so that's my official timer. You're gonna hear some beeps and boops and stuff in the background. I'm probably gonna say, in fact, I gotta put this out there in the event. Tell them I'm going to run again. Okay. I just can't believe Rabbit fucked me like that. Okay, let's not talk about Rabbit. Let's talk about this movie. I can't say bullshit. I can't say movie. It does some really ingenious things with the time loop. Being that it's a PG-13 movie, it doesn't meet a lot of the normal or the expected criteria for horror movies, especially bad horror movies. No nudity throughout the whole thing. Not really a lot of sexy stuff going on at all. Honestly, this is like a true PG-13 kids horror movie, except that it's in college. And the if it wasn't for the idea of a girl sleeping over in a guy's dorm room and the roommate being really just crude about stuff, and maybe one scene where she's walking around naked but you don't see anything, there's not a lot of adult content in there to keep this from being a high school fantasy movie. I guess maybe the idea that she's banging the professor, like, they don't show anything, they kiss a little bit, but they talk about it. So yeah, there's some stuff here. So this really should have been an R movie. I think that would have saved it. Because it's a good movie, but it's not a great movie, if that makes any sense at all. It's not Triangle. Triangle was a great movie. Groundhog's Day was a great movie. And they do a lot of parallels to this. Just the fact that Groundhog's Day came before this really, really hurts it. And I hate that that's a problem, because it should be a benefit. It's like, oh, I remember Groundhog's Day. It'll be like this. And they mention the movie way too late. I'm gonna spoil that right now. At the last scene, they mentioned one of the last scenes they mentioned Groundhog's Day. And if they were gonna do it, they should have done it up front, so they could have been repeatedly calling back to it. Doing it at the end is just lazy. If you pretend it never existed in this universe, it adds some suspense to it. Instead, it just takes this character that despite her many horrid actions in the first 10 minutes. What the fuck, cats? I think she fell in the toilet. I don't even know why it's open. Oh, you're so dumb. Hopefully you didn't get bit by a spider. I'll deal with that later. But in the first 10 minutes, it shows us what a horrible fucking person she is. And so you're fighting with, like, liking her in there. And that's what I was talking about. Like, it doesn't quite grab me in the first 5 minutes, because it shows me this protagonist that I don't like. And I don't like that I don't like her. I want to like my main character. I want it to be someone I can relate to, if only a little bit. And she has these roller coasters up and down of being stupid or smart or whatever. And then the idea that she doesn't know who Bill Murray is, or doesn't know what Groundhog's Day is, to me is a problem. It's stupid on her part that makes her look uncultured. Yeah, someone's just happy that we're gonna watch it again. So, oh God, I want to, and she is a redeemable character. She does redeem. So don't let the horrible shit that's going on, and they blast through it. It's like 20 things in the first 10 minutes. It's not even like paced evenly. It's like, oh, here's a horrible thing, here's a horrible thing, here's a horrible thing, 40 seconds, here, horrible thing, horrible thing. So this movie does kind of keep you on there. You expect certain things. You're like, oh, that's obvious because of this. And you get that sometimes, and then other times they twist it just a little bit. There's a couple times where it's like she thinks she knows who the killer is or who's behind the mask, and then they give you something else, and it's like, oh, okay, weird. And the identity of the killer, like, they actually deal that really well. I don't want to spoil anything. I really don't. But she commands the difference of the days really, really well. So it shows that she is a smart person in the reaction, but there's other times where, like, she's dealt with, like, this physical violence going on because someone is trying to kill her, that honestly she isn't equipped to deal with. Like, she just panics and stalls and screams, though no one can hear her, or she doesn't punch or whatnot. And there's a couple things in like when she's combating people, and I'm like, yeah, do this, and then she does it. So I really feel connected to the writers on this on some level. I really got to say that. And the actress is phenomenal. The actress is actually really good. It's a character that's written kind of shitty, because she does the psychotic breaks really well. She does the manic parts really well. Like, she handles the death scenes beautifully. I wish there were better supporting characters in this, because there's a lot of them. But other than Carter, one of the characters I won't name because it's a spoiler. There's really not a lot going on there. They're really bland characters, and I think that's supposed to be a shell game. I think that's supposed to trick us into not knowing enough about everyone to not know who the killer would be and puzzle it out ourselves. Because let's face it, everyone fucking hates her, so it could be anyone. And I called it at the beginning. I was like, I wonder if this is going to be like, and everyone hates her, so who done it? And what I was hoping for was the end of Clue, where everyone was the fucking murderer. Where it was just literally like 12 people trying to kill her, and then just depending upon where she was at night, it depended like who got to kill her. The movie really reminds me of The Sexy Brutale in a way. It's a video game, not a movie, but the storyline carries the same principle. There's a party going on, and everyone's everyone, like all the guests are being murdered. So you have to one at a time figure out how they're getting murdered and how to save them. And so this is that, except she's trying to save herself. And I think we do. You know what? I don't want to give the number away, but there's enough restarts there to be surprising. And don't pay attention to the time on this. If you try to look at the timing of the movie, it will fucking leak stuff to you. You'll look at the time and be like, oh, we have this much time left, so this and this will have to happen. And I did that to myself while we were watching, and I shouldn't have. I feel bad about doing that because I ruined it not only for me but for the other guy watching. Let's see. But the way she pieces some stuff together here is really neat. It's like, I would have liked to see, you know what? I would like to see a rated R version with Michelle Trachtenberg as the lead character, where it's Harriet the Spy grown up, stuck in a time loop. That would be fantastic. And if you don't know Harriet the Spy, it's basically a 90s modern Nancy Drew, where Nancy Drew was like 70s, 80s. And they did a modernized version of Nancy Drew with Emma Roberts, so whatever. I hate that Harriet the Spy kind of just went away, because it's like, oh, it's like Nancy Drew. Well, yeah, but it's in the Pete and Pete world. And I'm rambling about other things in this movie, and we've only got about probably 5 good minutes left. There's so many like nice little things in here. There's some fantastic moments. I do want to give a shout out. If you watch, there's a scene where she goes into a fire hose window, and the stunt lady on that, she's obviously in a harness. It's really bad wire work for the camera angle. It probably looked good on the ground, but her foot gets caught in the window as she's coming back down, and I swear to God, she broke it. It looked like it hurt like a son of a bitch. So mad props to that stunt lady. Wow. Or stunt dude, if that's what they did. I really don't know. But there's lots of little parallels to Groundhog's Day, like I mentioned. Like just them sitting in a diner, them talking about things, them doing the timing aspect. You need to leave her alone, for the love of God. I got your back. Sorry, the cats are fighting, and I can't do anything about it from over here other than snap at them. I don't know. There's so many things that are just like, she's not equipped properly for the situation she's giving, and that's part of what makes it, is that she's not capable. But she tries anyways, and she's smart about it too. She takes control of the situation at points, and other times it's away from her. And as far as acting goes, phenomenal job. I really am looking forward to seeing more from her. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about anybody else in the movie, because it's not about them. It's really just about her, and like, she has to carry this movie. That may have been a flaw in the writing right there. Just that it had the lead role had to carry so well, and in this day and age, I don't know who you get to play that other than like Emma Stone, and actually draw the crowd you need to draw. And Emma Stone's, honestly, she's kind of out of the collegiate era. I'm trying to think, unless you go pull one of the girls from Riverdale, I'm really lost. Like, Danielle Panabaker is out of that area too. Alyson Hannigan's way out of there. Jane Levy, but she's playing older people now too. Wow, I am blanking on some used to be young actresses. Because I'm trying to think back to like the last time I watched like a collegiate movie that was current, like who the actors were at the time. Like, where my head went was Superbad and Natalie Portman, but my head's always with Natalie Portman. She's all that. Where they're all like 25-year-olds playing high school students. Accepted. Maria Thayer could probably pull it off. She would have been good for this. She's probably just too old. Actually, the girl who played Kimmy Schmidt, she probably would have been a good cast. I just don't know if she could do psychotic break so well. I'm not aware. God. Okay, so instead of trying to recast this movie that's perfectly fine, perfectly good, Blumhouse, that sounds familiar. Apparently, he did Split, Get Out, and The Purge. Jessica Roth is the girl that I'm insulting by trying to recast her, and that's not what I meant to do at all. I really loved her performance. I'm just trying to think of people who are just a little bigger than me have drawn a name, and fuck, it's the Ghost in the Shell problem all over again, because they were looking for an actress that would draw enough people to validate the existence of the movie, and they had to go with Scarlett Johansson because fucking racist America. I don't know. Good movie. Go watch this. Go check it out. Join us next Friday for Quarantine LA. I think that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be one of the sequels to Quarantine. I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna make it happen. Next Friday, 9 p.m. Despite what Rabbit says, I'm gonna start putting that in the fucking event because asshole fucking website. But join us over there, Rabbit/Camerai. Until you see us next time, this has been #WeAreMovieClub. Scary Movie Squad. Scary Movie Squad. One day he'll get it right. You want to see anything else we're up to, go to click the annotations and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.